time, hopefully, and timeless. So let's tune in, put our hands together, and reflect on our projection and intention for this time we're going to share together. Inhale deep. So, crossing the year 1718, I was looking for guidance and how it's going to be my next step. And what came to me is for 36 years, I have impacted so many people from the north to the south, from the east to the west of this planet. And today we are finally in the age I was born for. I'm an Aquarius, and since I'm 16, I was looking for this time that we are entering now. It's a golden time, it's an amazing time, and it's a very challenging time. I guess you have answered this call in an amazing way. When I initially thought, okay, I want to have a living community and keep the flow together so we can cross this time and the cusp of this Aquarian age. I didn't know how many of you will be interested. So it was like put a message in the bottle and throw it in the ocean. So we are more than 250 people online, and even more in the Russian-speaking country and South America. So I think that shows how much you are keeping up, how much you want to invest yourself in both your path and the relationship, with a source of nourishment, a source of inspiration, and this is what I can do today with my experience and feeling in time. I can share what I'm using myself to adapt to the change and go in this new paradigm. So thank you for being here. And my first emotion is I feel honored that you're there, and I want to honor you. So this is our first Karta time. I think it's just in time. And this is a special rendezvous about timeless. How can we live through the time beyond time? So I don't want to make it long. It's rather having short and updated every month. I used to speak to you and write something inspirational every year, to the beginning of the year, to set the spirit and orient yourself in your practice. The time speed is speeding up, and we need now to do this every month, every 30, 40 days. It's a good rhythm. And I think I'm prepared and ready to do that. This is opening to more feminine energy. I was on the go. Now I welcome you in Le Martinez, an amazing fact that I don't need to travel and we can meet. So we are sitting and you are with me in Le Martinez Yoga Room, which is like a dream, amazing time. And I welcome you in our home. So we will do that every month. And those who like to be inspired will be at the rendezvous. So what about today? So today we are February 2018, and we are starting to move into action. As I said in the beginning of the year, this February is the time now, and to move into the spring energy, to increase the intensity of your life energy. Usually, in the old time, that was the role of a master that you would eventually meet when you're lucky. And this amazing relationship would introduce this factor of pressure in your life. That was the role of the teacher. We are basically spiritually lazy. We have dreams, we have hope, we have insight, we have excitement, and it doesn't take 7 days before we lose it, we lose track, and we are falling back into doubt. So to keep up, we need to increase the pressure. So how are we going to do this now? That most of the great masters are leaving the planet, and we are left facing ourselves. And how can we connect to the master within? How can we give ourselves the pressure we need to expand, to be creative, and to be in the flow? First, we need to recognize the source of excitement, the source of intention is within our soul body. Our soul came to this planet with a very pure and precise intention. For this, we have a physical body that, with his mind, constitute a gift of skills, a gift of potential, a gift of possibilities undeveloped. And we come through the time and space to develop and to manifest what is, for us, unique and exciting. So live passionately is something that will take you out of the depression, take you out of the doubting mind and questioning mind. So maybe it's a good idea to ask yourself, how many of my dreams I have abandoned? I'm not talking about dreaming about another world or dreaming about another life. I'm talking a very vivid dream inside you about, I would love to be a star, I would love to be an artist, I would love to be a singer, I would love to work with wood, I would have loved, if it was not impossible, to sculpt the stones and see what I can express. You see what I mean? It's like you were still young and you had this enthusiasm about entering the play of life. We call this the lila. If we take life as a game, we invest ourselves passionately in playing, not to gain, not to lose, just investing ourselves in playing, in the play of life. That's what lila means. How can you do that? I mean, each of us had been gifted with a very unique talent, with a very unique set of possibilities that we keep undeveloped for we are giving priority to earn our livings. We give priority in securing ourselves. We end up limiting ourselves or confining ourselves into achieving goals that are quantifiable. You are projecting yourself in a box with limitations, and you're not living a life as an artist. What I've been teaching for all these years, it's called Royal Art Yoga. It is how to live as an artist, how to be an artisan co-creating the reality and be totally conscious that you create your reality and not facing a reality that is unexpected and in obstruction and reducing your potentials. How can we do that? I think it's just answering these inner teenagers that dreamed about things he wanted to do and he had totally abandoned. This dream came from the soul. And maybe people around you have discouraged you and told you you are a dreamer, you will never make anything in your life. And you need to now to make study, to be serious, and to really engage into practical status, social status. So maybe if we consider the planet is changing the axis, maybe if we consider humanity is an absolute change, it's not just changing the landscape, we are changing a space. And this change is affecting our physical body. And it is being visible, it will be visible in the reality outside. And how it will happen, not from the outside, it will happen because we will co-create the future. So where is the future? The future is in ourselves, and it is in our dream. How can we answer the call of what if it was not impossible? What I would have done? What I would have created if I would give myself the authorization to invest in skills that I feel not competent, not fully developed, not ready, shy, or wanting to hide. So I think February is a time to come out of your shell, and with the spring, break what is the box you have built around you, and start to invest in one little project, one small thing that is based on, I want to manifest that dream with passion. Something simple. It doesn't have to be a big deal. It has to be a project where you feel passionate, where you never tried to do before, and you're going to innovate in your life. As the Aquarian is a new paradigm, it will be born through the people who innovate themselves. Yeah? So if you find in yourself a source of innovation and something that you've never done before, and you take the risk to start, even though you don't feel competent, ready, and totally skilled for it, you will get the skill, you will get everything you need to manifest that new possibility. And this will be an era, I would call it a playground. It's like you enter the life like instead of being in the classroom, you are in the in-between class, in the playground, playing to life, playing into life. And invest your excitement, your enthusiasm for something that has a deep value into your heart. So if you understand that, you will invest into life from a complete different angle than to do things you must do and to do things you must accomplish to face your bill at the end of the month. That's why to shift your paradigm, you cannot shift everything in one go. It's going to be progressive. It's going to be step by step. And the new Aquarian age will be there step by step, one at a time. So I think if you start investing in that part of you that is left dormant until now, and you start investing your excitement, your passion, your faith into that, even it looks a small thing, actually it will be a big shift in the whole life. You will become to be an artist. What I mean by artist doesn't mean you will have to end up a star and to be in a star business or things like that. I mean every one of us is an artist. Every one of us has the skill to generate something absolutely new that nobody else can do. Every one of us can take passion in playing. So, this is fun, isn't it? Look at life as a game. Start to initiate something like a play that you've never done before. You wouldn't even dare to think you could do that. But now you're going to sit down, you're going to meditate and find out what is it in me that is dormant, undeveloped, that I didn't dare to show. And I would love to put it in motion if it was not impossible. And you will start making this impossible possible. I think this is an amazing program. It doesn't have to stay into a dream stage. You need to put like a program. You need to have a decision that you're going to start and when you're going to start and how you're going to start and what you need to start. Gather all the elements, information, resources, people you will need to manifest this little project. It could be produce a CD of music. It could be start to paint something. It could be to write a poetry, an essay. It could be anything that will connect you with artistic skills that you may not have today, but will open your heart and make you feel excited about it. So it will take a few weeks to gather this element and support, and then you start. You really put your action and see how just to move from being dispersed and outside of yourself to come back to the core of your essence and enter action from that essence, very essence, which is completely gratis. The goal is not necessarily to make money. Prosperity will come when you start moving yourself into truth from the heart. And the true self is manifest when you manifest your passion. And your passion to be on earth is rooting your energy of creativity and manifest something concrete, something on this planet useful to yourself and interesting enough that other people may appreciate what you produce, like any artisan or artist. So this is my advice to start investing yourself and getting out of dispersion. There is a lot of fears that is rising now and insecurity on this planet. And when you focus on creating something as a game, fear will not eat you. The fear comes for emptiness. The fear comes because we have lost our meaning in the society organization. The social tissues is falling apart. There's so many signs that we are losing ground and that increase the level of fear around us. We don't need to be open to that. We need to focus on the light. So the light within you is when you beam out and you start generating something, you start creating something. So the new will come through the new of you manifesting something on this planet. For doing this, you will need meditation. You will need to expand, refine your self-sensory system, how you can feel the connection with the matter, the connection with the spirit, with connection with the beauty. This is happening through the physical body and through your senses. So if the senses are focused on producing something beautiful, this will reflect the beauty within you. But you need to increase your level of frequency so you are not dispersed and you are not taken away by the solicitation of doubting about yourself. You're not competent, your voice is not good enough, you've never been a painter, you will never be anybody. So it's not about achievement, you understand? It's about increasing your sensitivity. So the second strong point for entering the spring for me is increase the frequency, the vibration of your physical body. I've got this insight already in December when I was doing an Ayurvedic cure, where I felt I spent too much time taking care of others and reaching out and sharing this teaching and not taking care of myself. This is absolutely true. I was neglecting myself and my physical health. I took it for granted, and actually I start to see it's really the time to look after that. And I had a doubting mind about, should I take care of myself? This is very selfish, you know. And actually, by stepping into this cure, I realized that actually, if I am not in the right frequency, if my body is under tension and pain, how can I share any sense of happiness and joy? Yeah? All my energy is focused on healing my body. So after this cure, I came out and I felt everybody should do that. It's care for yourself physically. It doesn't matter how old you are. You need to be the first focus. Before you can think of serving others, you need to serve yourself. And you need to realize if the divine is somewhere, it is first in you. And if you cannot honor the divine in you, then how can you honor it in other people? So this is also part of the shift of value. We used to think we have to be good to others, we need to serve others, we need to be not egoistic and all that stuff. But actually people were going away and escaping from facing their own limitation and pretending they can be good to others because their intention is to be good to others. I think this is not enough. When your own self is not in balance, when your own self is not healthy, when your own self is not radiant and beaming out, how can you support others when you don't support yourself? Yeah? So I think entering the Aquarian age is to consider that we are now very much individual, separated. There is no tribe, there is no group consciousness that can support you, that can give you a place in the society. You need to create it by yourself. So you need to take care of yourself by yourself. And this is just a diametric opposite of being selfish. You will start to consider that I am important to be able to communicate with others in a straight way. I am important to be able to be clear with myself so I can be clear with everybody. I need to be in love with myself so I can share this love with anybody. So this will come later with, you had questions about relationship. I will come to this point a little bit later. For now is increase the frequency of your physical body. We are doing yoga every day, and this is to bring your body back into an open body that can receive, that can be flexible, that can be stretched, that can be open, and it can release any sense of physical pain. The other thing is about the diet. It's very important today to invest in a healthy food, healthy diet, healthy way of eating. I'm not saying you have to be vegetarian, but I'm saying you have to eat less. In general, we see the level of overweight people increasing in all society from America to the Europe now. People overweight is almost a common communality. Everybody is like this, you overweighted. And I was. In 1.5 months or 2 months, I lost 13 kilos. Not trying to lose weight. It was not the focus. The focus was, I want to get back the flow of energy and my vitality. And it just happened. So when you focus on a good diet, like early morning exercise, and then around 8, have a light fruits breakfast, and not heavy bread and jam and butter. And through the day and mid of the day, early afternoon, a balanced meal where you increase the volume of vegetable and less cereals and grains. And here and there, some fruit juice separate from the meal. And have a very light soup in the evening. Just very simple food will give you a lot of energy, and you will lose stress if you take care of how you prepare it, and it doesn't take time. This is not true that taking care of your food will stretch the time, not at all. So I think this you need to come out of this hallucination of fast food and running and eating, standing and in the car and all this kind of situation. And just you need enormous strength of intention to stop this running into the life and stop the time and remember you are you. You are an honorable human being that deserves a quality food so that physical body can vibrate again and that you can raise the frequency so your exercise will be more profitable, and then you're going to be somebody that the presence will inspire people even beyond your words or before you speak. So these are, for me, the two focus for the next 30 days, 40 days is decide a project that comes from your heart, from a skill and something that was dormant, that you never try, you never dare to do, you never initiate. And then you gather all the elements and conditions so you can start. And with a deadline, a fixed date when you're going to start. And how you're going to keep nourishing and sustaining that activity, that project. The other one, consider your physical body as the main tool you need to go through these changes. And you will see in the months and the year coming, it's going to be stronger and stronger. The need to have a very strong glandular system, very strong nervous system, and very light physical body. So we need to be prepared and ready to receive more light in our body, in our heart, in our chakras. And we can't afford to be tamasic. We can't afford to be heavy. So we have a beautiful practice with Kundalini Yoga. We have amazing tools. And of course, your daily practice is far not enough. We need to investigate and work in our shadows and darkness. And this is the real deep work we should do parallel to maintenance. And that's what I'm offering when I travel and share the Soma practice, is to transform this poison that you keep on producing because of your fears, negativity, and shadows within your system of different bodies and body energy, and how we can change this into medicine. But this is the purpose of the Soma. It's not just a classic Kundalini Yoga class. This is a practice to transform the poison into Soma, which is an elixir, medicine. And we can do this from our shadows. So we are not fighting the shadows in Kundalini. Kundalini is rooted in Tantra. And Tantra is about embracing our shadows, not to reject them, not to send them away, not to separate ourselves and fight against it. Is to embrace them, to dissolve them in embrace. So this is a total different path than the path of fighting for right and wrong. Nobody is wrong, nobody is right, but we don't need to fight, we need to embrace. So this is a practice complementary to our daily routine of taking care of ourselves and become creative being. The new time that is coming doesn't need to be invented, is coming to us, and we just need to be ready to welcome the new within ourselves as we are today. So the old strategy to have a goal, a target, to imagine what could be the future, and to be a future builder on the present view of based on your own limitation, this is not what the future will be this time. The future has to be a mystery, it has to be unpredictable, and we need to embrace that mystery so we are ourselves entering the mystery. But if we want to unveil from the mind and create a business plan of our life, that for sure you're going to hit the wall and find yourself limited. So this is my inspiration for this month, and this is what I'm doing myself. I'm practicing amazing yoga every day, and maybe one day we'll put it online. An amazing set for opening all meridian, stimulating all your glandular system, and strengthening your nervous system. So practice any of these kriyas that are very basic, strong Kundalini kriyas, but not strenuous, but with love and care for your physical body. Start to create something new in your life and your environment. Okay, so this is for our first part. I mean, I wanted to address you, and I think you can use this. It's covering actually quite a bit of your question. You had so many interesting questions, and I was a little bit crazy to say, okay, ask a question. I didn't believe that you will ask so many questions and very interesting questions. Of course, there are personal questions, and you have to understand, answering question, it is really in the etheric. I am a teacher not to give a recipe, not to give you answers that will train you to be lazy, to think I can solve the problem. I'm not here for that. But I have heard your question. I've raised them by asking you ask questions, which is an amazing process. And I think be sure that just by formulating your question and the way you wrote them down through this session today, a lot of them will find a solution within you. So I'm not answering question by question, definitely not. And there was like a global question. Maybe Prakash would like to read one of these.
Yeah, so there were two questions that were more or less global that were addressing the new, and the one was from Philip Kiefer, and the other one was from Jonathan Reynard. So the first one goes, as mankind faces the lost in believing the current model of society, what are the correlations and figures we will have to handle in the merging new model and change of the paradigm? Time and relationship to numbers, pi, the golden number, related vibrations, involving all of our senses. To reconnect to the basics and nature, how can we prepare ourselves? That's the first question. And the second point raised is to be in touch with the overview and a detailed forecast and the step the Earth is making this year in order to go along and step clearly and surely in the ascension to the unified expression of the self.
So I guess this was two questions I had in mind to produce these 2 points, and they helped me to crystallize these 2 points I had mentioned in my introduction talk. So I think we are preparing ourselves when we become creative. We are preparing ourselves when we take care of our physical body on many levels and elevate the frequency, so we are ready to face what eventuality can come. Of course, there will be much deeper work, and I guess with the spring we will go into that deeper. But this has to do with renewing our DNA codes. We are now carrying codes from like the last 2,000 years, are very, very strong in our genetics, and definitely to be updated and to be not to fall obsolete very quickly. We need to transform these codes. We need to appreciate what are the codes that are limiting us and how can we implant new codes in our DNA. So this is, I guess, the time will come in the spring when we reseed and we replant our belief system and our programs. This is a very deep work, and I think we will start with the spring. So, but now to prepare yourself, what I just told you is about preparing yourself, preparing the ground. It's like in the winter you prepare the earth, so when the spring comes, we'll be able to seed and develop a new self based on the true self. So this is answer for these questions. Of course, there is not like a plan, as I told you. We cannot have a business plan about that. We just need to root ourselves in the change. Don't expect things that you're going to find a solution that's going to work forever. And we need to be alert, aware, every moment. Alert to the change and ready to let go. Our deep nature is to hook on things, to have projects that will last in the time, to feel more secure and relaxed. The time is changing, and we cannot root ourselves with a long-term project. It has to be short-term. It has to be manifested now and focus on the manifestation now. And this will lead us to the natural flow of creativity, where the next project will come, the expansion will come by itself in the flow. So we don't need to foresee too much ahead of time. We don't need to predict what will be in 3 years. Nobody can do that. And I think it's much better to focus on what can I do now, and how can I root myself, and be prepared that maybe in 6 months it's obsolete and I will have to move into something else. So this flexibility to touch things, go deeply, manifest now all I can, and accept that when it has a limit, time shows me that how I should move, how I should change, how I should be flexible and not stubborn. Time is the time of yoga. It's a time to be flexible. So this is about these 2 points. There was a few other points, quite repetitive, about relationship. Of course, as I mentioned before, the social tissue is falling apart. And what was creating that, holding that tissue together was relationship. So we have been teaching relationships since 40 years. And I guess all the old stories about harmonious relationship in the Piscian age are now falling apart. Human being is appearing as a new species. It's like a new race. We are very different today than we have been 40 years ago. So relationship as well are completely changing. So how can I open myself to a relationship that could be fulfilling for me and my partner? Well, in the first part, I was sharing that idea that to be creative, when you are creative, there will be nobody between the source of creativity and you. It makes you focus on a direct relationship with the source, so you can receive inspiration, you can receive energy, and you can receive the design of what you want to create. If you think you need somebody else between you and the source to be happy, to create a safe environment, to create a happy life, then you already distorted the field of energy. Today in the Aquarian Age, each one has a capacity to connect to the source of the universe, the source of creativity. We used to call this Adi Shakti, the universal mother, and the Universal Father. Each one of us can elevate the frequency to connect. And we should connect directly, not through anybody. Then you will observe that you are playing games with your own self. You are expressing resistance, fears, anxiety, anticipation. A lot of darkness that stopped you and slowing you down. When you decide to enter a relationship, it is not for the partner to accept your darkness and have a contract that we're going to ignore it and go for the best of each other. This is completely corrupt. Relationship, as we used to say, still verified today, is a yoga practice. It's just that you come from two and experience the oneness. So you cannot tolerate that the other one will put himself in between you and the source. That the other one will manipulate or ask you to play a game that is not for his own expansion. You cannot tolerate somebody who asks you to limit yourself to be able to live in harmony. These are total corrupt principles, and that they won't function today. In the patient age, you could do that. You say, oh, I'm committed, so I will drink it to the last glass and I will die with it. I think today is totally different. Today, we need to expand individually and collectively. We need to elevate our frequency individually and collectively. So, if you enter a relationship, it is for a mutual elevation. It is for mutual expansion. And therefore, your first contract is, I will not indulge, I will not accept your game. And when I see this game, I promise that I will reflect to you. I will send it back to you with love and kindness, but not accepting to be the object of your game. And you know about these games, programs, and beliefs. We don't know we have them. And the beauty is, if you have a partner that is a good company to you, then it might not be always pleasant. That when you lose yourself and be indulging into your dark side and expressing strongly the need for your darkness, that the partner simply say, no, I'm not going there. I love you, then you can go with your darkness, but I'm not going to eat it. I'm not going to be part of that program. So if your contract at first is, I am here to show you where you limit yourself and not play the game with you, then when the time is there, you do the reflection, then the other one will take it as, okay, now my partner wants to support me. I don't like it, but I will work on that. I will work by love, by my love. You know, if I am honoring somebody and that person loved me and showed me my own limitation that is absolutely unpleasant, I will not put the blame on that partner. I would rather say, wow, finally I find somebody straight who can reflect to me what I don't want to see of myself. Do you understand? So this is not therapeutic. This is just a daily routine that we call this good company. The bad company is people who are just friendly, will never send you back any reflection on how you limit yourself and you want to bring people into limitation. Good company is people who can confront you, they can stand their integrity, and they send you back to your own integrity. And they're not going to be the object of your projection. So I think this is very straight, but it's very hard, and it is very lovely. It's a training for compassion. Compassion is not about, oh, I hate you, I love you. Compassion is, how can I tolerate somebody beyond even the limit of that same person, that the limit that person has with herself. How can you include somebody beyond his own limitation? Do you understand that? When you see somebody limiting himself, that you have reflected and sent back, and he can't take it, it can't understand it, it can't put the finger on it, that means he needs time to process. And you must give it the time. So tolerance is the foundation of that school of relationship. We are in relationship for the sole purpose. And if you think you are in relationship for anything else than compassion, that you don't understand relationship. We need to grow our spiritual bodies and body of light on increasing the light in ourselves. And the other one who is playing programs that are confronting you, these people are the shorter way to expand yourself in tolerance, understanding, and compassion. I'm not saying you should tolerate that people will force you to limit yourself or things like that. You understand? It's very clear that you're not playing the program of other people. So your partner is opening up with a space of intimacy. And usually in the space of intimacy, we let down our defenses. Therefore, when the relationship has more than 1, 2, or 3 years, it becomes obvious all your pattern and programs that were coming from subconscious are now operating on the surface. It is a great time to learn and to experience unconditional love. So I think people are deceived because they invest in a relationship with hope, expectation, looking only for the good time. I think when you start appreciating that you can expand and open your heart in another dimension of tolerance, it creates an experience of expansion that is so joyful. And that's where you realize that some sort of pain and joy are just the same thing. They live together. There is never the expression of bliss and joy that is separate from the expression of pain and limitation. But together will bring you to a moment of expansion. I think the dynamic of relationship is part of the process to enter the Aqua-Age, but it's definitely not the model we knew in the Piscian Age. So this type of marriage that we had in the Piscian Age is probably moving. We have in the society an increasing percentage of people who divorce and change partner. We are all in the school of learning how to be authentic, how to respect our true self and be respected and tolerate each other in a much deeper level. Recognizing that each one of us is working with his limitation and resistance, and we need a space of trust, confidence, and tolerance to be able to work on our limitation and not be exploited, not be threatened, not be maneuvered and manipulated, so we can't work on ourselves. We don't need to sacrifice for the sake of loving somebody the work on ourselves. It's the opposite. And again, this has to do with this shift of a sense of selfishness and egoism. It is not true that if you consider that to work on growing your inner space, working on your authenticity and true self is selfish. This is not true. It's just the opposite. So today we need to take care of ourselves first. We need to work on ourselves first. And then the level of relationship we can expect will totally change. So we call this ethical relationship. It is nothing to do with a good and a bad relationship, a good or a bad person. It has nothing to do with value based on morality and judgment and evaluation. It has to do with each of us is a son and daughter of a divine. Each of us is the creative expression of the divine and the beauty. And each of us can experience bliss in his true nature, in his deep core essence. And that doesn't need projection, doesn't need anybody. So don't expect to enjoy life with somebody if you don't enjoy life by yourself. Don't expect you're going to be blissful and joyful and happy with somebody when you're not with yourself. This is what the Aquarian Age is about, is take ownership of your bliss, your stage of happiness, and share it wherever you are. If you can maintain and reconnect with that frequency every day, that's what sadhana is about. Sadhana is not a challenge to force and fight against sleeping and everything. This comes later. But the first thing is wake up, wake up, wake up in bliss for no reason. And when you wake up and you're very sad, depressed, facing a day with gray color, stop, breathe, and ask yourself, your true self, how are you doing today? That's a real meditation. How are you doing today? And you, which is the true you, must answer, I forgot. I am happy. It is not happiness that is projective. It's not happiness based on anybody else. Just stop the hallucination, come into your heart and realize there is a place in you that is happy, and start the day from that. Not achieve happiness through the day, maintain the happiness that is you, and it's your true nature through the day. So here we are. I think we are getting to the end of our conversation. I think I wanted, the conversation with mutual reverence, honoring each other. And I think I feel very honored that you are all here. My wish is that you are inspired and you're going to start to practice with this inner joy from the morning. And we'll see each other in another 3-4 weeks for the next step, and to see how you're progressing with your practice. Thank you for being here. Love you all. So please, just to close, 2 minutes, put your hands on your heart chakra. Let's close our eyes together and join in community of our heart. This is a temple, a golden temple. Your heart is the golden temple. And your heart is what will carry you through this golden age. It is not a dark age only for those who believe in darkness, but it's a golden age where you can shine and nobody can stop you from shining. So open your heart again and find within you that you have the source of light right there under your palm. that you can shine your kindness in any conflictual and disastrous situation, stressful or limitative. It doesn't matter if you are in jail or if you are unemployed or if you are on the top of a multinational company. When you are touched by your own grace, when you are touched by your own light, then you can share. And that's what we are doing right now. Let's connect each other with one another from our heart. And may we send this light all around the planet to those who cannot access it. Those who have lost hope, lost their health, those who handicap or live in the war. May we send this light to all of these human beings, the realm of the animals and the plants, and to our Mother Earth, Gaia, that is providing everything for everybody every day. Let's be grateful for all we receive, all the gifts. And just shine the light from our heart. And at this very moment, realize I am blessed. I am blessed. I am free and I am blessed. Satnam. Satnam.